his house, kind of like, oh, fuck. I always forget to take the freaking thing off.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah, to mute it. Anyways, welcome everybody to episode 90.
90.
90.
What the hell is he saying? I don't understand that. It's a 9 and a 0. You put them together, you get 9 and 0.
Flip that.
Yes, please. Anyways, yeah, we are 2 months away from the 2-year anniversary and 10 episodes away from episode 100.
WWF Beach Brawl.
Oh boy.
I
But
heard
it-
something.
Heroes of Wrestling.
I heard that.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do something very special for episode 100 UWF Beach Brawl.
Yes. Beesich Breezall.
But,
Heroes of Wrestling.
no.
He wants to hear us.
Once was enough.
We could do it a second time.
We could do it as
We'll
many
watch it
times
in
we want.
slow
We could make it an
mo.
annual affair.
Yes.
Yes.
Anywho.
You know what we could do?
Oh boy.
We could rebook Heroes of Wrestling.
Ooh.
We could
Ooh.
rebook that show.
I second that.
With the people that were available, you can't just take people from other companies or whatever. You have to use what we got.
What we got. Yeah, exactly. Write them all down, and we'll rework the card to something that was halfway legible and halfway entertaining.
It still would have been
No,
probably
the-
bad, but it wouldn't have been
It's
as
going to be bad no
bad.
matter. But yeah, exactly. It's going to
I'll a turd, it's still a
up the
turd.
level of bad. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Well, at least.
We might have a 2-year anniversary show, people.
I think we got something. I think we got I smell a sitcom.
But it's
We're breaking Levi
WrestleMania
as
season
well.
right now.
Levi's broken. He is broken.
WrestleMania.
Hey, pal.
But anyway, so yeah, with episode 90, we are starting WrestleMania season all month long. It is WrestleManias. And to remind you of what we're doing this month, tonight we are talking WrestleMania 4. Next week we're talking best WrestleMania openers. The week after that, we're doing WrestleMania 28 since it's 10 years since Once in a Lifetime happened. Ooh. And then we end WrestleMania season with top 10 worst main events in WrestleMania. Because, well, we gotta talk about the bad stuff with WrestleMania's past, so...
There's been a lot of bad main events.
Yep.
Yes, there have been.
But
But that's the end of the month. Tonight, we are talking Mania 4.
Mm-hmm.
Holy bollocks. So, before we
the
get started...
true biggest WrestleMania of all time,
Of all
people. There
time.
were most
Big-
matches in
most
WrestleMania
matches.
history with 16.
But still-
16.
now-
Still a shorter show than the past 3 or 4 WrestleManias.
And
That is
also, and Scott will remember this is the only WrestleMania that came on 2 VHSs.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It was on
really
double
rare.
VHS back then. Yeah.
Which,
Because
if anyone,
Mhm.
which anyone has it, it's a rare collector's item. So you lucky son of a bitch if you have it.
I have the original pay-per-view recording on tape.
Which is
I have-
even rarer.
Yep. I got it somewhere buried in here.
But yeah, this started the era of let's put everybody on the show.
Yep.
Because 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7 were like 14 to 16 matches total for
Mhm.
all of them.
Yep.
Yeah. And Arthur Jones in the chat says he actually has a recording of the original recording of the show, too.
Nice.
But, so before we get into everything, just a quick, synopsis of the show. I mean, for this show, for 16 matches, wasn't the greatest, but it certainly wasn't the worst. It was in the middle. It was an okay, enjoyable.
It doesn't
WrestleMania.
deserve the hate that it gets.
No.
So many people
No.
call this one of the worst WrestleManias ever. It's far from
No.
it.
No.
If you're
Because-
comparing work rate and all that shit of what we consider good wrestling is now to then, you're missing the point completely. It's
Exactly.
nothing like it's a whole different world.
Sure, it could be a bit of a clusterfuck, but
Yeah.
I mean, there's some really good, decent matches here.
Which we will get to those when we get there. So, time to go over stats. So, WrestleMania 4 took place from Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey, with an attendance of 18,165, a sellout, live gate of $1.4 million, pay-per-view buys 485,000. Now, compared to WrestleMania 3, attendance in live gate was lower, obviously, because you're going from a stadium to a convention center. But the pay-per-view buys were higher. Granted, Mania 3 was still in the early stages of pay-per-view, but still it did manage to do more pay-per-view buys than 3. Compared to the other pay-per-views or big shows of 88, WrestleMania 4 was in the middle, with SummerSlam as the highest, Survivor Series the lowest in attendance, Livegate the highest of 88, and then pay-per-view buys was in the middle, with SummerSlam as the highest at 500,000, and then Survivor Series. But then again, only 3 pay-per-views in 88, so it doesn't matter.
Right, yeah.
Now, the interesting thing about this was, you said it was from Boardwalk Hall. They advertised this as from Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino. The reason being, this WrestleMania and WrestleMania 5 was both sponsored by Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino. Yes. Events during the week happened at the hotel and casino. Show itself happened at the adjacent Atlantic City Convention Hall, now Boardwalk Hall.
Yeah.
And you get all kinds of great insights on this if you go to James's channel, We Are Pro Wrestling, and listen to his WrestleMania 5 review. You get tons of info like that, because I did, and it was awesome.
And also, speaking about WrestleMania 4, the primetime wrestling before WrestleMania 4, all the stuff from Trump Plaza, it's on YouTube in a compilation of all the Heenan and Monsoon stuff. Where Monsoon is at the blackjack table, legitimately playing blackjack and winning like $10,000 in a sitting.
Yep.
Wow. Well, with all that out of the way, we got a lot of matches to talk about, so let's get this show rolling. So we kick things off with the WrestleMania 4 Invitational Battle Royal. And, well, I'm going to have to go to Wikipedia for this.
The winner gets a big trophy that definitely will not get destroyed.
Not in any way, shape, or form. Took 2 people to carry the trophy. Look at that trophy, Jess. Takes 2 men to carry it down there.
Yeah. So the participants we have... So the participants in this Battle Royal, Bad News Brown, the Bolsheviks of Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zukov, the Hart Foundation of Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart, the Killer Bees of B. Brian Blair and Jim Brunzell, Danny Davis, George Steele, Harley Race, Hillbilly Jim, the Rougeau brothers Jacques and Raymond, the Young Stallions Paul Roma and Jim Powers, Junkyard Dog, Ken Patera, Ron Bass, Sam Houston, and Sika. So, all
much everybody that couldn't make the top 14 in the tournament was in this match.
Exactly.
Yeah. And for a Battle Royal, it was just a standard Battle Royal.
It's nothing special. It's just there.
It's there to
yes.
George Steele was on the outside the whole time.
Never got in the ring. Nope. I love doing that. That was always fun to do. But it basically just comes down to the last 2 guys.
We got rated by my pal Lisa ASMR. Thank you for bringing holy crap, a lot of people are
Lisa. Hello, everybody. Hello, Raiders. How's it going?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, people.
Hello.
Can I get a
Hello.
Now we're going to be with Hoyas all of a sudden.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
anyway, we get to the final 2.
Yeah, Bret and Bad News Brown. And what was it that you said in the Mania 5 review about Bret during this show? Like how they were starting to turn babyface?
Yeah.
Because Bad News... They eliminated the Junkyard Dog. They celebrated like they were going to split the win. Bad News hit the Ghetto Blaster on Bret. He eliminated Bret. He celebrates with the trophy, and then Bret attacks him, destroys the trophy, and throws it over the top rope. And this was his babyface turn.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and now we got the Walter.
That shit. Here comes
Hi.
Yay!
We just started the review, dude, so it's all good. So you didn't miss anything. We just talked about the Battle Royal, so.
Did you just message me, Scott?
Yeah, I did. Just saying how's it going? See when you're going to show up. So you just showed up, so it's all good.
Mariska's in the middle of a curling tournament, and she. Nice. I'm happy. I'm very proud and happy to say she is. As of next year, she is going to be the youngest curler in New York State to move up to the adult level. She's going from juniors to adult. She's only 15.
Fantastic.
Yeah. She's doing
Congrats.
Fucking prodigy curler over there. It's fantastic.
Yep.
That is awesome, man.
So, Walter...
I don't know, Scott, if you saw, but our buddy Steve Mace is hanging out with our buddy Bob today and his little pal Kyle.
Oh, yeah. His very, very little pal Adam. Mm-hmm.
He's bigger than Adam. My God.
I know. Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Please fuck me, baby.
So Bret Hart's turned babyface at the end of this match, leading to the Hart Foundation going babyface. Blah blah blah. Moving on.
Yeah. My quick thoughts in the Battle Royal is that we're at.
We just finished that. So go ahead.
Entertaining Battle Royal for me was fun. And again, this was the beginning of the test run to see how Bret Hart would fare as a singles competitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the end, Bad News Brown won the Battle Royal by last eliminating Bret Hart in 9 minutes 44 seconds. One of the longer matches on the card. Because, thus
beginning a feud that went on for about 4 or 5 months with Bad News and Bret. They actually had a good match. I believe it was at the Maple Leaf Gardens. It might be on the network, but it's a pretty solid match because Bad News and Bret have a history from Stampede.
Stampede, exactly. So that would have been like main event level matches for that arena.
They test out Bret on a solo run. They wanted to give him somebody he was comfortable with and had familiarity with, and that was the other Calgary Stampede guy there, Bad News.
Mm-hmm.
Bad News Allen.
And real quick, thank you, Weston1549 and Corporal12 for your follows on the Twitch side of things. But now time to move on to the WWF Championship Tournament. Starting things off with round one. Our first match of round one, it's Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase with Virgil and Andre the Giant.
It's a UWF match. It's a UWF match. Mid-South. Yep.
Mid-South.
It's a Mid-South main event right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, it might seem like we'll be going through a lot of these tournament matches quick, but then again, a lot of these matches are really short. So this one...
I mean, when you have 16 on the card...
Yeah.
Which means you're going to have to get some buys in there, which we'll talk about.
Yep.
Yes. But, I mean, for a match between these two, it was all right for the time it was given, for sure.
Again, two guys familiar with each other, kept it really basic. I didn't realize Andre really slugged Duggan. My God. You see
Sorry, boss.
I will show my ass on the road.
That was another aspect of this tournament that they promoted a lot. The opening round was 15-minute time limits. The quarterfinals were 20-minute time limits. The semifinals were 30-minute time limits, and I think the finals were finals was no time limit. Yeah.
Yep.
So
because there was guaranteed a new champion.
Right.
Proclamation by Robin Leach at the beginning as well.
That's right there.
Yeah.
Champagne whistles. Yeah. Thank you, Dana Carvey.
Also, let's not forget the other two big celebrity cameos all throughout the night: Bob Uecker and Vanna White.
Uecker helped call the first match.
Yes.
The subplot of the evening. Yes, the subplot. Bob looking for Vanna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But solid match here for.
Hold on. Dialing back to the Battle Royal. My favorite thing about the Battle Royal with the commentary was when Patera throws out the Bolsheviks and Uecker goes, USA is in! Yes, sir! And then Patera gets eliminated immediately and Ventura goes, oh, goes USA, huh, Uecker?
Oh, boy.
USA is in! Yes!
But in the end, Ted DiBiase defeated Jim Duggan in 5 minutes, 2 seconds to move on to the quarterfinals of the tournament. Match number 3 is the second match of the first round of the WWF Championship Tournament. We have Dino Bravo with Frenchie Martin versus Don Morocco with superstar Billy Graham.
The Rock, Don Morocco.
The Rock, Don Morocco.
Yes.
It's kind of weird because Morocco spent 85% of his career as a heel, a fat heel, a chubby heel, mind you.
And then here he's a ripped babyface.
It's all natural. It's all natural. It's all donuts. It's all donuts. That's all it is. All donuts.
Donuts and meat.
Insert clip of Simpsons.
I don't get it. Gene Cocker went for crazy 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yes.
Remember when Piper would rip on Morocco about his weight? Oh, look how fat you are!
You've been built today, you fat motherfucker!
He went off on him and Adonis. They both jumped him. He's like, I'm not going to take anything from some cutesy-weetsy dress. It's a fat hog!
But Morocco and Bravo, another all right match in the tournament.
Yeah.
It's there.
It's there.
It's
it
there.
happens.
Although the finish, I'm still kind of scratching my head about it.
Joey Morella's made of sticks.
Oh man, but yeah, we get to the finish, and Morocco's going for going across the ropes to hit Dino, and Dino pulls the ref in front of him, and then Dino has him in a pin. Has Morocco in a pin, and it seems like, ooh, Dino Bravo just pinned Don Morocco. But the referee says, nope, you're disqualified. Don Morocco is the winner. So in the end, Don Morocco defeated Dino Bravo by disqualification in 4 minutes, 53 seconds.
This match was a product of Peacock. The Jesus Christ Superstar, which was Billy Graham's theme music, was edited to some weird Hercules-type music. You could hear Superstar in the background if you listen carefully. But yeah, they did something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is a recurring theme with many matches in this tournament of shitty DQ finishes, which were just apropos of the situation.
Yeah.
So.
But now moving on to match number 4 and the third first round match of the WWF Championship Tournament. And this is an interesting one considering where they were prior. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with Baby Richie versus Greg the Hammer Valentine with Jimmy Hart. The reason why I'd say it's interesting because Jim Crockett guys, right here.
Yeah.
Mid-Atlantic.
Mid-Atlantic guys, yep.
Steamboat's last night with the company.
That's right.
Yeah.
4 years later.
Yep.
And especially where you look at the bracket, you wonder maybe if he was staying, they would have done another match.
Yeah.
He
On
actually
this
thought
show instead of
Steamboat
given the
thought-
bracket.
Steamboat looked at everyone saw the brackets, when they got there, and everybody knew Savage was getting the belt.
Yeah.
So when Steamboat was looking at the brackets, he notices him and Valentine, so he figured, oh, okay, I'll probably go over on Valentine, and then it'll probably be me and Savage in the quarterfinals, and I'll put him over get paid back the favor next year. Instead, that's not what happens, and Blackjack lands on Ricky and said, yeah, you can go home early tonight.
Oh, really?
Sorry, kid.
According to many, this tournament was changed around numerous times.
Yeah.
And yeah, apparently Savage Steamboat 2 was in the mix at one point. According to Bam Bam Bigelow, Bam Bam was supposed to be the original winner.
See, in the
The one I got from Andre in Survivor Series was supposed to be a sign of what was to come.
the original
Andre killing you with a weird suplex.
in the original bracket, the Duggan DiBiase match and the Jake Rude match, they were flipped.
Oh.
They were so where Duggan and DiBiase were on the bracket, that was Jake and Rude, and vice versa. And then they swapped it because of what was originally supposed to happen in this tournament. We'll get to that a little bit later on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. But back to the match between Valentine and Steamboat. This was the first good match of the tournament.
Match,
this was a really good match between
Amazing match.
Considering the parties involved, that's not surprising, though.
Yeah. I will say though, Valentine, it's like watching him doing the flops all the time. It's like, holy
so
crap,
good.
Valentine.
He's so good at it.
It was good, but it was like, geez, how many
He does
times
it
did
better
he do it?
Here's my hot take. He does it better than Flair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
always.
I will agree with that.
Flair would do like a little skip and boom, and like James just did. Valentine was just straight timber bump, and he could do that anywhere. He could do that on concrete. He could do that on wood. He could do that in your freaking grocery store and still get up fine. That's just how good he was at that technique.
I told Valentine that he did it better than Flair. Valentine's like, well, I taught Rick how to do it. And apparently he fucks it up every time.
Wow.
Oh, that's lovely.
Wow.
Was that at ScareCon where his air conditioning was broken?
I got to hang out with Greg Valentine a record 3-4 times, and he's been nothing but cool to me. Lets me ask many questions, And actually, by the time the last time I saw him, we were both on a first name basis. It was pretty cool. I like Greg Valentine.
I remember Valentine being on an early indie show in my area, and he was backstage, and I love this story. He's about ready to go out there, and one of the wrestlers look up to him and says, "Hey, before you go out there in front of those kids, you want to wipe that shit off your nose?"
Yeah, a bunch of coke unders.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
Again,
that begs to picture in your mind. Can you imagine Valentine like hyper?
I know, right?
On coke?
I know.
Does he take it as a downer? What the fuck? You never see that guy get excited or something like that.
The fastest I ever saw Greg Valentine move was our good buddy Vince, Axel Lennox. We were doing a show in Oneonta where Greg was headlining, and Vince wanted to do a spot with Val. He wasn't working the match. He wanted to all run out and jump Valentine. And Vince is like, I want to go with the figure four. I want to do it. Vince talks like Macho Man.
Yes, he does.
And he goes to Valentine about it. And Vince is extremely respectful. All right. He always is, always courteous. And, and he asked politely, we're going to run here. Can you put me in the figure four? I'm doing the fucking figure four tonight. All right? My back is fucking killing me. All right. Now get out of here before I really fucking lay you out. And Vince is like, he's in bad mood. It's happening. Because Vince has worked with great.
Yeah. But you begin to wonder if Dima would have stayed, who knows how long he would have gone in the tournament, maybe till Macho Man and,
which would have been the next round.
Which would have been, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we would have got a scientific babyface match with Savage, with Steamboat returning the favor to Savage.
And it would have been maybe the greatest 10-minute match of all time. Probably.
They would have repeated some of the pinning spots, I guarantee you that.
But they would never have done it. They would not have done a babyface versus babyface match at this time. They would not have done that. So.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't work now.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but real quick with Coke. Oh, got milk.
Nice.
I had to throw that in there. But in the end, Greg Valentine defeated Ricky Steamboat in 9 minutes, 12 seconds to move on to the next round of the tournament.
Steamboat takes a bow on the way out, too.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
His last night.
But real quick, just going back to his entrance where he's carrying little baby Richie, I thought that was so cool. It still pains me to think that Richie can't be in the ring anymore, because who knows what he would be like now.
Richie had no interest, too. Richie had no interest in getting into wrestling.
He did his a lark. Yeah, he got into racing trucks, I think it was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just a shame he got...
I think he sells insurance now or something, or real estate or something.
Yeah, because just around the time you saw his potential, his career is done like that. Because I remember seeing the stuff he did with Cassius Ohno in NXT, and it was really good.
Yeah, I think it was a back injury that he had that took him out.
Late 2012, early 2013.
I think put his dad on the outs for a little while too. I think exactly what it was.
But moving on to match number 5, the fourth match of the first round of the tournament, we have Butch Reed with Slick versus Macho Man Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth. Another man match in the tournament.
Another Mid-Souther.
Yep.
A guy who was a top guy in Mid-South, mind you.
That's right. Mid-South versus ICW here.
Yeah.
Speaking of last nights, this was Butch Reed's last night as well.
Oh,
you're right.
I didn't realize that. That's right.
I don't recall ever seeing him again after that.
No.
Because soon he was in WCW, and then soon after that, the formation of Doom.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, the Peacock edit, they used his NWA music. They didn't use Jive Soul Bro. They put them.
Wow.
Butch Reed throws amazing fucking punches.
Yes, he does.
One of my favorite work punchers in the business. Soup bone right, as Jim Ross would call it.
And good storytelling. There's a callback to the finish of this match in the main event.
And in the end, with the classic elbow, Randy Savage defeated Butch Reed in 5 minutes 7 seconds. Match number 6, match number 6 in the 5th match of the first round of the tournament. We have One Man Gang with Slick versus Bam Bam Bigelow with Oliver Humperdinck. Yeah, this match was 3 minutes of whatever.
Not good.
Well, from what I understand,
Whatever.
Bam Bam was supposed to win according to Bam Bam, but he got an ankle injury, so they had to rewrite everything. I think he got an ankle. Oh, he was doing fucking cartwheels in the match, so I don't know. But Bam Bam was taken off TV shortly after this match. Bam Bam Bigelow's run in WWE was very similar to Keith Lee's main roster run.
Now you mention it, yes, it was. So much hype and flopped.
Yep.
Now, speaking of that, what is with the finish of this fucking match?
Yeah.
What is going on?
He was on the apron, and last time I checked, you're on the apron.
You can stop counting, ref.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And that referee loved to freaking yell at people.
Nobody remembers his name. He's always on WWF television in the 80s. He's very loud, and he wasn't a very
loud. No, he wasn't.
Oh!
Although I do remember, I don't. It might be in one of the matches on this show where Elizabeth is on the apron and he's like yelling at the wrestlers. And when it comes to Elizabeth, he's very quiet. Just, would you please? I'm sorry. Would you mind?
Randy probably told him, "You yell at Elizabeth, I will fucking kill you."
I think
I'll kick your ass, motherfucker.
I think he was a Boston ref. He was one they brought in from Boston. Because they had referees from Boston, they had referees from Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they would bring in. You know, they had batches of referees. They had ring announcers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But this clusterfuck finish where Bam Bam goes over the top when Slick brings the rope down, and the referee counting as they're fighting on the apron, and just as Bam Bam gets back in the ring, not even when the 10 count, there was no 10. And yet they call the bell. It's like, what the fuck? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, ding, 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 ding.
It was it was a very bizarre finish. Bam Bam was pretty over. All right, he was.
Yeah. He was, but
everyone thought he was gonna, go far in the company. He was especially the way they hyped him when he first came on board. The battle for Bam Bam with all the managers.
They hadn't done that since Savage came in. That's the same thing they did with Savage when he came in. All the managers were vying for him. We're trying to, solicit him and everything else.
Sure, here's my manager. Oliver Humperdinck. Yeah.
Yep. That was Orndorff. Humperdinck came out and said, because it came down to, I think, Slick.
Slick was the last one. Slick was the last one.
Volkov was out there with him to greet him. And then Bam Bam came out. Well, Humperdinck comes out, and then Bam Bam comes out. And then Bam Bam and Volkov go nose to nose, and they start fighting.
Which was kind of a takeoff of what Jake did with King Kong Bundy in Georgia Championship Wrestling, because they brought Bundy in. Everyone thought he was going to be a heel. They brought him in, and he was debuted as a babyface, and they never thought that would work, but it did.
Yep.
So,
but again, Bam Bam's main roster, Bam Bam's entire WWE run, that initial run, not the entire run. That initial run was very, Keith Lee's main roster run. They brought him in hot. We're going to push him to the moon, and then just suddenly something happened.
Yep.
To a lesser extent, his second run, you could throw in that as well, because they were hyped him at the start there, and then he kind of was just like...
He made event at WrestleMania.
He did main event at WrestleMania. His babyface turn is when everything, sputtered out.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was promised a run with the belt, and then the Click buried me.
But he was supposed to run with the belt here. He was supposed to run with the belt after this.
Always. Always run with the belt.
I was the original winner, but we had to change it. I had an ankle injury and get surgery, so I wasn't going to be able to be champion. Commit. So that's how Savage got.
Which is not even the close to it, because...
This was my source's RF video shoot interview.
Yeah, I've seen that same interview.
And no.
Yeah.
Moving on.
A lot of slander in that shooting.
Yeah.
My God.
But in the end, One Man Gang defeated Bam Bam Bigelow by countout in 2 minutes 56 seconds. We talked about the stuff longer than the match.
I know. It was longer than the match.
And then next up, match number
7.
Match number 7, and the sixth and final match of the first round of the tournament. We have Ravishing Rick Rude with Bobby Heenan versus Jake the Snake Roberts with Damien. This match was just 15 minutes of headlocks galore.
It's called working, kids.
It's working. You guys all let me go. I'm not a sports entertainment guy. I'm a pro wrestling guy. That's fucking pro wrestling right there.
Yeah.
Okay? Everyone loves pro wrestling until it's time to do pro wrestling things.
Right.
Yeah. But all these fans think nowadays pro wrestling is near falls and and all sorts of shit like that.
7 deadly
You can do a flip.
Yay.
Yeah, or a flip, Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, that's the weird thing. Oh, I'm not a sports entertainment guy. I'm a pro wrestling guy.
Crowd does this in the match.
Yeah.
They come right up at the end.
Yep.
Especially
when Jake starts teasing that DDT, Jake knows how it's working. This is what wrestling looked like in 1975. This is what wrestling looked like in 1984. It was 1988. This was a standard wrestling match. I mean, if you were a little kid watching it, maybe you'd get a little bored with it, but it's a perfectly fine match. It does what it does.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's just I do scratch my head at why they decided to make this match the time limit draw between the two. I guess they didn't want to have either of them lose.
Probably not, because they hadn't started their feud yet, I don't think, right?
Not yet.
No.
They would have done a double count out. You would think with Jake and Rude, it would have been not the feud, not even despite the feud. There was no feud yet. But you would think that they would have done something like a double count out or something. But
and plus, these guys would know how to work a 15-minute time limit draw and not overdo anything.
Exactly.
They know how to keep it on the level and just get business done. And it's like, okay, we just go out there and make it look good. And it's also probably a test from the office to see how they look in the ring with each other. Maybe we want to run these guys together. Let's give this a try. I've done that. Many bookers have done that.
Oh, absolutely. So. Test run.
Yeah. So this match was kind of like the test run for what their feud ended up becoming later in the year.
Right.
So,
although I think their feud was basically a house show feud. They just set the feud up on TV, and then from that point on, it was
a house show program. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the end,
that's how you sell fucking tickets, by the way. Oh, you want to see what happens when Jake and Rick have it out? They're going. You'll come to the Boston Garden this Friday night. Snake pit match. Oh wait, no, they did have the segment where Rick got his pants ripped off by Jake.
Yeah.
He had Cheryl. He kept doing that. Yep. You come out there one more time with my wife's face.
And then at SummerSlam, he had the one pants, and then he pulled him down and had the Cheryl pants.
Right.
Yeah. Didn't Jake chase him and he powdered out?
Yep.
Yeah.
They did have a match. Where was it? I forget where it was. Where it was just the Rude Awakening versus DDT. First one to get the finish won. I think was it MS?
Main event match?
Maybe that or MSG show of some kind. I know they had a match like that. Yeah, but I don't remember where the match took place.
Dude, we were so blessed to have those MSG shows.
Oh my God, I missed them so much. 83, 84, 85 MSG is like my fucking shit right there. I love that. God,
so good. I wish they brought. Well, tonight they're in the Garden.
They're in the Garden tonight. Yeah,
there's so much hype over that show.
Brock versus a mystery opponent.
Yep.
But in the end, but in the end, Jake Roberts and Rick Rude fought to a time limit draw in 15 minutes. Therefore, both eliminated, and I believe it was One Man Gang who would move on to the semifinals as a result.
Yeah, and one interesting thing with the buys and whatnot, they had the guy in here and said, due to this guy gets the buy into the next round.
Yep.
And he just leaves.
Yeah. Almost every match had a Mid-South guy. Almost every match except for...
Now you think about it, you're right, yeah.
Oh, wait. Morocco and Bravo. Morocco was...
Oh, no. No, those... Well, Morocco wasn't.
He traveled through there once, but he wasn't a mainstay.
Yeah, okay.
I think Morocco was Mid-Atlantic for
He was AWA, and
Yeah,
he was
and
that
Hawaii.
too. In Hawaii,
Those
yeah,
were-
Hawaii. I'd
Hawaii.
probably say California, AWA, and then to WWF. So, and ECW. Don't forget ECW.
ECW
That's right.
champion.
That's right.
That's right.
Yep.
He wrestled Russ Francis's father out in Hawaii. Tonight he walks in the shoes of his legendary father. I forgot his name though.
Coach, I remember that.
Francis or what? Yeah, the football player who was in the
Yeah.
Battle Royal.
Yeah,
his
WrestleMania
his
2.
father was a
Yeah.
wrestling promoter. His father was a
Oh,
wrestling
okay.
promoter in Hawaii,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Morocco worked for him for a little while.
But moving on to match number 8, we have Hercules with Bobby the Brain Heenan versus the Ultimate Warrior.
Another Mid-South guy, fucking Hercules.
Yep. Mid-South and the Texas guy.
And world class.
Yep.
You got a Mid-South guy and a Mid-South and world class guy and a world class guy. Who's just happened to be not a world class guy. Yeah, it's double meaning. This wasn't a terrible match.
Yeah, it was just a match that got clear established.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
this was just 4 months before he got the Intercontinental title. So
Right.
Yeah. It was just
It's starting that push. Yeah.
It was just to throw on the card to get Warrior over a little more.
Mm-hmm.
They had the segment on TV to build up this where Warrior broke the chain.
Yes.
yeah.
Chains around me.
What's the finish? The old back suplex, shoulder up spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which the following year Hercules won with against Haku.
Oh, jeez, you're right.
He learned.
He learned. That's right. Aha!
But in the end, with the back suplex spot, 1, 2, Warrior shoulder up, 3. Ultimate Warrior defeats Hercules in 4 minutes 29 seconds.
That was a classic WWF finish right there. That was done a lot. Different.
That was
WrestleMania 8.
who was it? Did Backlund win the title from Billy Graham that way?
He won with an atomic. He won with an atomic drop.
Oh, that's right. I think his foot was on the rope too.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah,
which would
okay,
set
that
up
was it.
rematches that really never happened.
Never drew. Yeah, or never did anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I swear there was a title turn like that, but I don't remember what it was.
Well, yeah, that was a popular finish to get babyfaces over on strong heels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But now that's half of the show. 8 matches down, 8 more to go. Next up, we begin the quarterfinals of the tournament, and we kick off with the biggest match of the tournament up to this point. Who got buys in the first round due to what happened on the main event. It's the third one-on-one match between Andre
The rubber
Giant-
match
the
on
rubber
pay-per-view.
match.
Well,
Yep.
on pay-per-view, TV, whatever.
Yeah.
Andre the
History.
Giant with Ted Dibiase and Virgil versus Hulk Hogan.
Probably the least memorable of their 3
Yeah.
matches.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easily the least.
Again,
memorable.
double, finish and everything else, and with the referee looking right at him,
Yeah.
hitting the chair, and like,
Hitting each other with
That
a chair.
chair shot on Hogan, though, holy crap.
Yeah,
I
boom,
will
clunk.
say this. I
clunk.
will say this, that body slam Hogan gives Andre was a better looking body slam than WrestleMania 3.
Yeah,
With
Well, it all depends
less
on
of
Andre was
the
feeling.
reaction.
yeah. They had seen it.
It
They had
better.
seen it. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
It looked better. Just the reaction wasn't as big as it was in the
yeah, it was kind of like second nature at that point. Oh yeah, he can slam him. Big deal. Doesn't mean anything
But
anymore.
Andre got up better for that one because he'd probably done it so many times at the house shows.
Yeah, but again, it was he didn't even need to do it.
No.
Andre wins by DQ.
Mm.
Well, you know why?
It's what it should have been.
You know
It's
why?
what it should have been.
Because Hogan
Yeah.
had to pose.
That's right.
Hogan had to pose.
Hogan still poses, brother.
yeah.
Hogan's
In
pose
this
then
match.
at the end was, I think, longer than the match itself.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Like, God, go away. Go back. Come on.
hmm
Because in the end, Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant fought to a double disqualification in 5 minutes 52 seconds. Therefore,
that's that.
both eliminated, but they made it make sense when Andre in his interview, the famous interview with Bob Uecker later in the show, where he's like, I made sure Hogan was not in the tournament. And what do you know? He's not in the tournament. Ah!
Hulkamania over. Why don't you get your foot off my shoulder? It's one of those moments that's still shown to this very day.
It's still a highlight. It's still
The World Wrestling Federation champion.
And now I present the World Tag Team Championship to Ted Dibiase.
Hey, what do you mean?
Girlfriends.
No more girlfriends.
But moving on to match number 10, the second quarterfinal match of the tournament, we have Don Morocco with superstar Billy Graham versus Ted Dibiase with nobody, because Virgil got slammed on the floor and Andre was still in the back. So Dibiase's on his own for this one.
Winner goes to the finals.
Yep.
And this match was actually okay between these two, surprisingly. So, yeah. Just basically a case of get your shit in and get out.
DiBiase hit the stun gun and got the pin.
Yep, as Ted Dibiase defeated Don Morocco in 5 minutes 44 seconds to move on to the finals.
And that was a good move. Like DiBiase came out without his gear. He was like in a bad mood too, because he was like, because shit just went down. He doesn't have Virgil. He's still in jeopardy. Yeah. Now he's got to wrestle.
Match number 11, the third and final quarterfinals match of the tournament. We have Greg the Hammer Valentine with Jimmy Hart versus Macho Man Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth. And notice how in each time Savage and Elizabeth comes out, they change their outfits every single time.
Always brilliant move. Yep.
Another good match.
Yeah, this was another really good match between
really
these two.
good.
Again, more of the Valentine flops.
Right.
Yeah. And I seem to notice it's like the best matches of the tournament either involve Valentine or Savage. I've noticed.
See, that was also the thing. That shows how smart Vince is. Vince knew who he could depend on, because some of these guys are going to be wrestling more than once, and that's obviously Steamboat would have been able to do it, but there was the circumstances. He's leaving. Mm-hmm. Valentine was dependable. He knew that Valentine was going to be there to for Savage, to make sure Savage got a good quality match and not get burned out. He knew it was smart to have the gang draw by, because the gang working 2-3 matches that night.
Yeah,
stacking the deck.
But in the end, Macho Man Randy Savage defeated Greg Valentine in 6 minutes 6 seconds.
And how did he win? The same way Steamboat beat him a year earlier.
Yep.
Inside cradle roll up, because he learned.
Aha!
That was a Ric Flair finish. That's how I think Ric Flair.
That's always how Flair lost his title. Sting, Steamboat, everybody. Mm-hmm.
Steamboat. Yep.
Now to match number 12, the first of 3 championship matches of the night. We're finally into the title matches. The first of 3 championship matches of the night for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. Champion the Honky Tonk Man with Jimmy Hart and Peggy Sue versus challenger Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
The women's champion, by the way.
Yep. That's what the women's champion was.
Could you imagine that shit happening today? The women's champion putting on a wig and being somebody's manager.
Oh, dude, the following year, the women's champion sang the national anthem.
And it was horrible.
And it was horrible,
Your day job.
Yeah.
What a package!
There was no
Don't forget the interview. Don't forget the interview with Gene and Beefcake, where he literally looks down at his crotch and says, "What a package!"
Oh god!
House show match. I've seen Beefcake.
Yeah, it's bullshit gimmick Memphis style match.
Every time.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was just filler.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just there.
Honky was supposed to. Here's the thing, and Honky will tell you this. He was supposed to have the Intercontinental title off him by that point. It was supposed to be on Savage, and when they made the decision they were putting the title on Savage, Honky's like, "Whoa, what the fuck am I gonna do? I mean, I will just wrestle Beefcake." And that was that. So they just no storyline, nothing behind it. Beefcake and Honky just wrestle. And that's what he said. He wrestled pretty much Beefcake all from that point on till the time he dropped the belt to Warrior.
He was supposed to drop it to Beefcake at SummerSlam, and then they decided to go with Warrior.
Yep. But he was supposed to drop it to Savage, but
yeah,
the thing with him and Savage was they were making so much money and doing so well with that feud on the house show circuit. That's like
they want to stop it.
They didn't want to stop it, and then they decided to put the brakes on it and start building Savage to be the world champion. So
which that plays a lot into the tournament final.
Yes.
Yep. And they couldn't figure out what to do with Honky, so this is what you got.
Yeah. But in the end, Brutus Beefcake defeats Honky Tonk Man by disqualification in 6 minutes 30 seconds.
James, I'm sorry, what was Beefcake's real reason for not being in the match at SummerSlam? I know they used the Ron Bass angle.
I have no clue why. It was just they went with Warrior instead. They just decided to go there instead.
Oh,
and, the interesting thing with Beefcake, he's supposed to win the Intercontinental title twice at SummerSlam.
Yep.
Because he was supposed to win 2 years later and then got his face caved in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I bet any current WWE guy would go to the internet and quit if that happened to them today. They quit. They bitch on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to get the belt, but they didn't put it on me. I think I should look at other places.
Probably was a little mad when they told him that they weren't having him beat Honky. If that was the plan, if that's what James said.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Beefcake probably went to Hulk. Hey, they're not letting me be champion. I don't know.
But see, by the next year at SummerSlam, he was in the main event, so it all worked out.
Exactly. There was a payoff. Beefcake had a good record at SummerSlam, if you think about it. Or not SummerSlam, Mania. He had a pretty decent record. He won this match by DQ. He went with a double count out to DiBiase, the founder. He beat Perfect's record.
He ended the on-screen undefeated streak.
Yep.
He did get a double DQ at WrestleMania 1 against David Sammartino.
That's true. And he
lost the tag,
2 and 3.
Lost the tag titles at 2.
1 at 3. Sorry, 1 at 3.
But 3 he won, but he also won the hearts of the fans.
That's right.
And then they lost at 9.
Yep.
To Money Inc.
Right,
Money Inc. Yeah, but they got the briefcase full of cash.
I don't think he ever was another Mania.
No, because by the end of the year he was gone, and then by the next year he was main event in Starrcade.
It's like
Brother Kai.
It certainly helps.
That's a show we gotta talk about.
Creative control.
Yep. Brother Brutai.
Moving on to match number 13, we get a 6-man tag team match. The Islanders of Haku and Tama and Bobby Heenan versus the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith and Dynamite Kid and Coco Beware with Matilda. So
that's the reason this match is a thing.
That's right.
The dog.
The Bulldogs are going after somebody who's not a wrestler.
Right. They did a 6-man the year before, too. Yep.
Yeah.
And year before was Hart Foundation and Butch Reed against Bulldogs and
Danny
Tino
Davis.
Danny Davis.
Thank you. Yep, with Tino Santana and the Bulldogs. All 3 screwed over by Danny Davis. Yep.
Tino was so pissed he beat the pants off a Slick.
Right.
And then here, the build-up, Islanders took Matilda.
Right.
Yeah.
They took. It was animal abuse.
This match it's Bobby Heenan versus a dog. That's all.
That's really all this match is.
Doesn't matter.
A weasel.
They're all B players. It's a
Weasel versus a bulldog.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
God! Remember the frickin' promo that the Bulldogs tried to cut after Matilda was stolen? They're both standing there with like their heads down like this. They're fucking laughing their asses off. I don't care what anybody's saying. They're trying to look like they're crying, but bullshit. Their heads are like, please return our dog. We want to have Matilda back, please.
Of course.
Once they put the head down, you can see like corpsing right there. Breaking up.
Didn't they used to drug the dog and put like all sorts of?
They put steroids.
And they feed it like crazy before it went to the ring. They feed it like frozen hot dogs and shit.
Who would have thought?
God.
Who would have thought?
Get the weasel. Get the weasel. Get the weasel.
Who would have thought that a very popular tag team, mind you, one of the best technical wrestlers in the world at Dynamite Kid, were huge pieces of shit.
And of course, the primetime wrestling before WrestleMania, you have Bobby Heenan training for this match, running the beach on the exercise bike.
Mm-hmm. and then pushing Gorilla down the boardwalk.
Oh God.
Because he's getting ready for this very serious match.
Very serious match.
What?
He's on the bike and the thing's broken. He's like, it doesn't even look like it went anywhere. I got it. It's all in my head. It's all up here.
How did Coco get in the match? Is it just because he likes animals too?
I forget.
I get. That's the only thing I can guess.
For reasons, you know.
I don't remember the Islanders ever losing much when they were a heel tag team. You notice that? They won a lot. Yeah.
And speaking of which, the Islanders and Bobby Heenan defeated the British Bulldogs and Coco Beware in 7 minutes 30 seconds.
When Bobby pinned Coco, they pick Bobby up and they drop him. Good job by Gorilla for selling how much that's going to hurt, because you kind of knew where the finish was coming. You know, Ventura's talking about the padding. He goes, "Oh, I'm talking about the buckles. That can hurt somebody." So, selling the gimmick as it's also a weapon. So that was.
But after the match, Matilda does get Bobby Heenan. Matilda does try to take out Bobby Heenan when he's down, and he's just basically like working her into Bobby's stomach and everything, like make it look like she's attacking him. Like
she's like whatever.
She's like, what is going on here? I'm not even Matilda. Who are you talking about?
Frankie did nothing. Frankie was.
I'm Matilda number 7.
Exactly.
Probably.
How many Matilda? I wonder how many Matildas they killed.
Oh God, no!
Oh,
it's just like how many Damien's Jake killed.
How many Damien's Jake
or Earthquake killed?
Because I heard that Davey Boy and Dynamite were in charge of Matilda. I wonder how many times they took Matilda for a walk and just never brought her
God!
back.
Yep.
Oh, we fucking lost her.
I lost the dog. Can't get another one. Get a new one.
Hey, pal, where's the dog?
I think the fucking Rougeaus took the dog.
Hey, what would Terry Funk say about the British Bulldogs' treatment of Matilda?
How would you treat a helpless little bitch like that? I've had bitches my entire life, and I never treated them as bad as you two British no-good limeys ever did to that damn dog. Leave that bitch alone.
Why can't I see Davey Boy? I can see him wrestling around the dog in the hotel room, and Davey Boy gives the dog the fucking running power slam and crushes it.
Oh God!
God.
Shit! What did you do? What did you do, Davey Boy? Oh, I fucked her up. She's moving.
Dog's fucked.
Where's the dog?
We threw her out the window.
I don't know.
Everything, bro.
Want some?
They could probably just like hold Matilda's ass over the second floor of a hotel and just like, like rocket Pez dispenser the shit out of the dogs. Yeah, they probably try to do that.
Gotcha, motherfuckers.
Oh,
it's a British thing.
They bring Davey Boy back. What do? They give him a dog.
I think Terry would also say you would never trust Davey Boy and Dynamite with a bitch like that. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I got 99 problems, but that bitch ain't one.
You see how we spent more time talking about what idiots Davey Boy and Dynamite were instead of talking about this match.
Yeah.
You notice the theme, folks?
A lot of stuff is more interesting than the matches.
Right. Yep.
Moving on to match number 14, the first, only, and last semifinal.
So therefore
match of
the
championship
best.
Tournament. Therefore the best.
And also the worst.
One-man gang with Slick versus Macho Man Randy Savage with Miss Elizabeth. Yeah, this match was shit between these two.
Why is one-man gang using a weapon on Savage? Why?
Kayfabe. Okay, I can explain this in kayfabe. DiBiase paid him off.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
Probably.
They never explained it that way, but I look at it like that.
Yeah,
DiBiase paid him off to soften him up for the final.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's also to gain the sympathy for the fans because he's one of the smallest guys in the tournaments, facing the biggest guy in the tournament now that Andre's out.
Yeah,
and he's already had two tough matches.
Right.
Yeah. But
So,
in the end,
build that sympathy.
But in the end, Randy Savage defeated One Man Gang by disqualification in 4 minutes 5 seconds.
And that was the gang's last pay-per-view as the gang. Because a few months later,
Hakeem, the African Dream.
Yes.
Ciao, bro. Ciao,
bro. And you always lie to your friends.
Match number 15, the penultimate match of WrestleMania 4, and the second of 3 championship matches of the night for the WWF Tag Team Championships. Champion Strike Force, Tito Santana.
Girls in cars.
All you girls have gone a bit too far. I'm not safe behind the wheel.
Wheel of my car.
Versus
That was Ted Dibiase's theme. The first WrestleMania video game, that was Ted Dibiase's theme music.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
If you
That's
listen to it closely.
Yep.
versus Demolition Action Smash with Mr. Fuji. So this was still heel Demolition.
Yes.
And this match was all right, but 12
The crowd's
and a half
tired.
minutes.
The crowd's tired at this point.
You can tell it was like,
Yeah.
"Ugh,
It's getting to be a
get
late
it
show.
over with. Get it over
Yep.
with, damn it."
But
Yep.
the start of a very, very long reign for Demolition.
Would
Broken
be-
by the New Day. Correct?
by,
Is that right?
by 5 days.
5 days.
Yeah. But in the end, Demolition defeated Strikeforce in 12 minutes, 33 seconds.
Yeah. I'm trying to think here. You got a staple WWF guy, although he's worked everywhere, Tito. You got an AWA guy with Martel.
Yep.
You got a Georgia guy with Vast Superstar, and you got a Mid Atlantic guy with actually a Minnesota guy, another
Minnesota guy, but more known for a Mid-Atlantic run, Crusher Khrushchev. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of cross paths there too. So.
Yep.
But this would be the beginning of the 478 day long title reign for Demolition.
It carried over to the next WrestleMania.
Yep.
Yeah. Moving on to match number 16. It's the main event and the finals of the WWF Championship Tournament, the debut of the Winged Eagle belt.
No, the debut was at the main event in February.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I always
that was the
forget about
debut.
that.
Yep.
I always kept thinking Mania 4 was.
Which we should reference now. The whole backstory to this match, the whole setup for it, goes back to the main event in February. It was not Saturday night's main event because it was on a Friday. It was the main event. Hogan,
33
Andre,
million viewers.
highest rated
That was the only
American
match on
broadcast wrestling match of all time in this country, and double, the original screw job, if you will, with the dual referee gimmick that they had there. Andre gets the belt under chicanery, hands the belt over to Ted Dibiase. They walk out with the championship. Then the second referee meets the first referee. They look the same.
How much is he paid for the plastic?
It's like surgery. Look at the $1,000 bills falling out of his pocket. And, Yep. And so that whole thing happens. President Jack Tunney comes out, declares Hulk Hogan is not the world champion because he was defeated. Therefore, unequivocally, I love how he's always said that. Andre the Giant is not the champion. Ted Dibiase is not the champion. The title is vacant, and we will fill the title with a tournament at WrestleMania. Hence, here we are with this match.
Scott, let's show our age. Where did you watch main event, if you remember?
I was at my family's house. I was at my mom and dad's house. Yeah, where I grew up.
I was watching at home with my dad and my sister and my older brother Tom. And my mom. I will never forget my brother and my dad jumping up and cheering for joy when Andre pinned Hogan. And I was
I probably was screaming and crying at the fucking TV at the time.
I was crying. My dad and my brother were like,
Yep.
This is bullshit.
Yep.
my brother was in like his 20s.
That was me.
They did just to get on my nerves. So I was like 9 or 10.
Yep.
I was a Hulkamaniac, and and I was upset because Hogan lost. Hogan was,
You got cheated.
Mm-hmm.
4
Yep.
years as a champion. It's a long. Now here's the thing. Also, we went to North Carolina to visit my grandfather. About a week or two later, and I come back, and this is the thing: no internet, no magazines. I didn't get to watch wrestling while I was down there, but I remember coming home. First, my brother told me, he goes, "Dude, there's no champion. The title is vacant. Tournament, WrestleMania IV." I'm like, "What?" Yeah. So that was established in January, shortly after main event. So they built that tournament up for 3-4 months. Brackets were already laid out.
Well, the main event was February.
They built it up for over a month.
Yeah, it was just about a month build up. But at that time, you didn't need more than that. You had the story, and they had set up Hogan and Andre to get a bye because that was where this whole thing started, and then line up all the names, and boom, we're off to the races. And then here's Bob Uecker, here's Vanna White, and
Yeah. But James, you were alluding to earlier about original plans for this whole thing. So
originally, this tournament was a device to give Ted Dibiase the championship, because the original brackets, they had certain things flipped, and originally the finals was going to be Dibiase versus Hogan. Dibiase wins by countout, and he's the new champion. But then when Honky Tonk Man decided to not want to lose the Intercontinental Championship, they changed all the different plans around. Savage was getting the world title, and DiBiase was still going to go to the finals, but lose.
Wow.
And there was heat. There was heat between DiBiase and Honky because of this.
Yeah. I'd imagine so, because just one guy's refusal led to so many dominoes falling.
DiBiase left a hot run in UWF to go do this.
Oh yeah,
hot run. You know, he was the top guy there.
And to think at this point to have a heel walk away with the WWF Championship at the end of a WrestleMania.
Yep.
Yeah, it would have been the first time that happened.
Oh, they would have threw shit in the ring.
Oh,
especially having it end by count out.
Yeah, that would have been total.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that would have a WrestleMania not only with a heel winning a title, which is, you know, it can be done, but a count out win? Oh my god, yeah, the fucking crowd would have been angry, really angry. I wouldn't have liked that.
But with all that,
there's a callback in this match to Savage and Butch Reed, because Butch Reed goes to the top rope, Savage gives him the flare bump right up to the top rope, elbow 1, 2, 3. That's how we win this match. DiBiase in this match goes to the top rope. Savage gives him the flare bump, goes up to the top rope, doesn't get the elbow drop. So storytelling there is being implemented throughout the evening there. There's probably elements from the one-man gang deal and the match with Greg Valentine in there, too.
Then you had elements from the DiBiase and Duggan match with Andre fucking with Savage. And then Savage goes to Elizabeth, go to the back and get the Hulkster. Hogan comes out.
Gorilla, I've seen him leave back. It's not the last time. It's not the first time I've seen her leave. Gorilla.
But
and then the finish is one of the classic finishes where the baby faces, the good old honest baby faces, cheat to win.
They're evening the odds. It's an eye for an eye. That's what it is. It's not cheating. It's just
the heels were cheating right when the bell rang.
Exactly. There you go.
Andre was the factor. Andre was what's gonna make it impossible for Savage to beat Teddy. So
Savage was going to go for a dive on the outside, and then Andre just stands in front. It's like, okay, come on,
jump.
Dive, boss, dive.
But yeah, this match.
It was a great epilogue to WrestleMania 3. Honestly, it really was.
But yeah, this match, I would argue, probably the best match of the entire tournament, just because of all those factors.
Yeah,
it's the finals. Crowd's back up for this one. They're into the match.
The crowd got hot, especially towards the end.
As what any tournament should be, the final should be the best match. Especially if you're doing a one-night tournament like this, the final should always be your best match.
And you got two well endurance guys for it too. You got two guys who can definitely go that length of that night.
This is Savage's fourth match.
Yeah.
One of only two guys, only one of two guys to wrestle 4 matches in one night in company history. The other being Savio Vega, King of the Ring '95, which we don't talk about around here.
Wow, yeah.
But in the end, Randy Savage defeated Ted Dibiase in 9 minutes 27 seconds to become the undisputed WWF champion.
Wait, Rock went 4 matches in one night. Deadly Game.
Yeah, Deadly Game. So 3. So 3.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He did. Yeah.
Yeah. You look at those list of guys. Savage, Rock, Savio.
One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just doesn't belong here.
What about Regal, King of the Ring? Didn't he go through 4 guys as well?
We're talking on
pay-per-view. Oh, pay-per-view. Okay.
Yeah,
pay-per-view, but I think it was only 3.
King of the Ring was
Didn't
right?
Edge win 4?
No.
No,
That
in
he
01,
Edge won
that was
2.
2.
We're
Rhino
talking.
and then Kurt.
When Brett won, that was only 3 matches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, to finish this match, one of those iconic bulbs going off like crazy with they hit that elbow on Teddy and
Freaking halfway across the ring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
picture perfect.
Yep.
Everything looks great. Yeah.
Yep. Lots of iconic moments, like Macho Man hoisting Liz on his shoulders.
Yes. And that
The
moment
belt,
there,
yeah.
and putting the belt on her, and at which sets up a year later the incredible business they would do there.
Jazz
Yes.
music. The Mega Powers explode.
You had lustful eyes for Elizabeth.
Yeah. So that's WrestleMania 4. Overall, despite it being bloated as hell with 16 matches, still an alright to good WrestleMania here. Not as bad as a lot of people say it is.
Always liked how that venue looked too.
Oh, yeah.
Had a
Boardwalk
signature
Hall
look.
for.
AEW just did it a few weeks ago, but it looked like every other AEW show.
Like 4 and 5 had unique looks to it because of the aisleway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the golden
Going the
staircase.
stairs and then the ramp, yeah. So, would I recommend you check out Mania 4? I'd say yes, so you could say you've seen it once.
For historical purposes, why not?
Yeah.
It was coming off the biggest. It was coming off a huge WrestleMania. It was coming off one of the most important WrestleManias, and for many years, the favorite WrestleMania of many people. So it had a lot to follow. It had a lot to follow.
Yeah. So, now on to favorite, least favorite, sleeper, and shocker of the night. Favorite match, I'm going to give it to Savage and Dibiase. Least favorite, Bam Bam, One Man Gang. Fuck that match. Sleeper, I'm going to give it to Valentine Steamboat. Because I feel like when it comes to like really good matches, that one's a hidden gem, I think, in WrestleMania history. Valentine and Steamboat. And then shocker...
Shocker's probably all the shitty double DQs and double countouts and time draw stuff that happens throughout the evening.
All
I
the
think Euchre
non-finishes.
swung and missed at an air ball.
I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
Or the fan that was smoking came out and hugged him during the entrance.
Yeah. What was that?
Cigarette.
Put that cigarette out.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But I guess I'll go with
right
that for shocker. I don't know.
I'd agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Favorite and least favorite are easy ones. Sleeper, either of the Valentine matches. Both of those were really good. And shocker, yeah.
Walter.
Same with the worst. Best and worst. Savage and DiBiase for best. Gang and Bigelow for worst. Sleeper, I'm gonna go with Rude and Roberts for sleeper, because for a long time it was hailed as the worst match on the show by Meltzer and all those dipshits and all that. When it really wasn't. All right, age revisionism. Okay, let's normalize saying Rude and Roberts was pretty good. Shocker, I'm gonna go with, because I'm going back to the little kid mindset. Valentine and Steamboat, because Steamboat had a huge amount of success the previous year, WrestleMania. I didn't know what was going on at the time with the company because I was a little kid. You don't follow that shit. I didn't have a subscription to the Observer newsletter. I had no idea he was leaving. I was very shocked that he beat somebody like Greg Valentine, who, let's be honest, this Valentine's best years in the company were past him. They were, his Intercontinental title runs, and all that, and the tag team title runs. And from that point on, Valentine was, and this is not a knock on Valentine's performance, it's just his place on the card. Valentine was a mid-card guy who was there to get the other talent over. And I was very surprised that Greg Valentine would beat Ricky Steamboat. Good match, though. Great match.
Hell, another shocker you could go with is the fact that Hogan didn't walk out with the belt.
Again,
Yeah.
as a little kid, another big deal as a little kid. You know, like, oh my God, Hulk Hogan's not leaving WrestleMania with the title. We're not going to see Hogan pose at the end to Real American. We get it halfway through the show.
Yeah. Scott?
Favorite, least favorite, same. Sleeper. Sleeper's probably probably either one of the Valentine Savage or Valentine Steamboat matches. You know, they're solid in on themselves. Shocker, if I'm going to take Walter's perception there as a little kid, Demolition beating Strikeforce, because Demolition was the first heel tag team I really got into as a kid. Wonder why that was. And so them winning the tag titles was big for me. I was really happy for them to get that. You know, because I was all about Strikeforce, you know, being baby faces, but fucking Demolition looks cool.
You know, the first heel tag
So that
team
for me would be the Shacker. So
the first heel tag team I was into, and I blame my father for this, was the Hart Foundation, because my dad loved Bret Hart. Just, you know, even when he was at that point, 86, 87, 88. This guy's good. This guy's a real star, Walter. You watch. That was one of the 5-6 years prior to it happening. My father was calling Bret Hart to be a world champion. No clue.
And yeah, 4.5 years later, he gets it.
he gets the title. Yep.
He still talks about that. He said every year, I told you that guy was going to be he's a legend. He's a legend now. I told you.
Ricky.
5 years after this, he was main event in WrestleMania.
Yes.
My father foreshadowed Bret Hart. My father foreshadowed Bret Hart's career in 85, 86. It's
Ricky.
Same thing with the worst and the best. Sleeper, either any of the Valentine matches, and shocker, Hogan not winning the title.
All right.
I mean, you remember the fact he had been champion for the last 4 years.
Yes.
Up to this point.
Yep.
All
just over the 4-year mark. Yes.
All right, Scott.
Okay.
Good job, Endeavor. Oh,
God.
I got 2 of them. Because this is a long-ass show with a lot of guys, I got 2. They're not really easy or difficult, in my opinion, but we'll see what you guys think. So the first one is going to be Rick Rude. Hold on, I'm sorry, I got this wrong. Rick Rude, Bret Hart, and Brutus Beefcake.
Ooh. Got to remember the time.
Yeah, remember the time frame now, in context of 1988.
Tag team. Probably. Oh, shit.
I guess.
Endeavor Beefcake. For sure.
Yeah, I guess I would Endeavor Beefcake. I guess I would
You guys were
job Brett.
born when this happened. Beefcake was over as fuck back then.
Now, job?
I would
I don't
probably
wanna
job
job- I
Brett and push Rude. I guess.
I go with that
I honestly
too.
don't
I
know.
go with that too. Yeah.
James,
in
what do you
modern
got?
consensus, what we knew then, what we know now, that all makes sense. But if we were sitting here in 1988 playing this exact game, the answers would be very
Way different.
Yeah.
James, what do you think?
What about you guys? I'm trying to think.
Well, there's the younger gentleman here. They're going with endeavoring Beefcake, jobbing Brett, and pushing Rude.
I'm going with push Beefcake, jobbing Rude, and endeavoring Brett. If I was going from a 1988 standpoint, see, you guys, this is the generation gap here, though.
Yep.
If we were having this conversation in 1988, it'd be a little more understandable.
Yep. Because I would have been in '88. I would have been pushing beefcake, baby cakes. Be jobbing Brett and endeavoring Rude.
Oh.
Rude, I do see. Because he could go somewhere, but Brett, I'm like.
I mean, in an 88.
How good Brett was then, unless you were like a Dave Meltzer guy.
Yeah.
I mean, in an 88 standpoint, yeah, you'd push Beefcake, and then Job and Endeavor could go either way.
Here was the weird thing with tag teams back then. They were like, when tag team wrestlers wrestled in singles competition, they were not as strong as they were as a tag team. They were kind of used as job guys, believe it or not.
Like,
weird.
I mean, you look at the fact you had Sika in the Battle Royal.
Right. So that's it.
Well, Alpha was having health issues and was gone at the time. Sika was a preliminary guy on and off all over the place at that time. He was always
Sika was working George Steele on the house shows. It didn't matter.
Yep. And teaming with Kamala.
Teaming with Kamala, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And now the second push job endeavor I have.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think I know where it's going.
Oh boy.
Hogan, Savage, Dibiase.
Wow.
Ooh, at this point.
I knew it.
At this point.
Well,
Oh, fuck me.
Endeavor's the tough one. Endeavor's the tough one.
You got to remember at this point, Hogan was going off to film No Holds Barred.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah, in that sense.
Yeah,
Hogan
you're really
endeavoring
endeavoring Hogan.
You're really endeavoring.
1988. You're really gonna fucking do that when he does do this fucking movie? You fire his ass. Mm.
You fire his ass. We're gonna lose a lot of money, Frank.
Yeah,
but at the same time, do you endeavor Savage?
No.
Who you just put the belt on?
No.
Here's where we go. I'll go first. Okay, push Hogan, job Savage, endeavor Teddy, so Ted can go to NWA and work with Ric Flair and Sting.
Job Savage, the brand new crown world champion.
Yeah, and you don't want a job your world champion.
You want a job your world champion.
But Hogan doesn't job, brother.
Yeah, that'll work for me, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's look at this in the fact that No Holds Barred doesn't exist.
Okay.
So you push Hogan, you job Savage, and you endeavor Ted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. It makes the most sense.
But you don't want to endeavor Savage so he maybe could go down to NWA and work with Flair? Which has bigger money potential? Which is bigger marquee? Flair Savage in 1988 or Flair DiBiase in 1988?
Depends where it is. If it's in Louisiana,
I just said Flair Savage or Flair DiBiase in the NWA area.
Flair Savage is worth the most.
Okay,
right.
See, DiBiase can lose but still keep heat.
Right. So he can job. He can job.
Shit. Okay, if No Holds Barred is out of the equation,
you push Hogan.
Yeah, you got to push Hogan.
I push Hogan for sure. I would push Hogan, but in terms of
when it comes to 1988, when it comes to wrestling, the first
Levi is stressed out. Look at him. Look at him. How stressed he is.
Hey, Levi, it's a game.
It's a work, dude.
Jobbing.
Levi, how is
Jobbing
so detrimental?
I'm gonna probably I would job DiBiase and endeavor Savage.
Endeavor Savage, okay. There's other territories at this time too. Remember, it's 88. There's still other places to go.
Because DiBiase, he's a great worker. He could, get guys over.
Just like Scott's first game, it's interchangeable. You can either or. DiBiase going to NWA to work Flair or Sting still works. Going with Savage to work Flair or Sting.
DiBiase could go back to Japan.
That's true, and work with Stan.
Yep.
But with Macho Man, I mean, Macho Man and Flair in '88 would have been
Macho and anybody in the NWA and Crockett in '88.
Or imagine Vern signing Macho Man and saving the fucking company.
Another aspect to think about too is in traditional wrestling style. After I believe I is stressed. Look at this kid. In traditional wrestling style, when you babyface got to the peak. And they lost. He's out of here. He's fucking gone. Is this the second time I've done that to him?
He's got to powder out.
He's powdered out.
Anyway.
What Hogan could start jobbing, and pay back a lot of debts for eventually him to go away. In traditional wrestling, that's usually how it happened in the territory system.
Hey, Levi. Now you know how that feels when you put the Satanists at the bottom of your list, buddy.
You know what? I'm putting this on Facebook and on Twitter. I want to see what other people's answers for that.
Get it out. Yeah, put it out there.
Put both of them up and see what they say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Zav's boobs.
Levi, do you not want to fire Savage? Do you not want to push Hogan? It's 1988, brother. You Endeavor Hulkster, your company is done. Might as well close the doors.
Mm.
Big boobs.
I love it when I can do this to that kid.
Big scarlet ass. Mandy
Scarlet
ass. Gigi
Gigi Dolan ass. Gigi Dolan's ass is on my desktop.
Nikita Lyons.
Nikita Lyons. Yes. She's thick. She's thick.
My God.
Which I saw her on the WWE Spanish Instagram. I was like, what? She started singing. I'm like, oh my God, I'm more in love with you now.
Corazon.
I was like,
I love Allison Kay, but she's got contenders now to deal with.
Mamacita, gonna get on a burrito.
Exactly.
Levi,
come back to us. Come back to us, boy. Wake up, wake up.
7 scarlet scissoring.
Come on, kid. Why aren't you responding to me? God damn. It's just a freaking game.
It's a dead game.
What did you do to me? What promo did you have me fucking do on Twitch? Was it Stu Hart on the Grinch? Was that you asked me to do?
Yeah.
And the Grinch on Stu. Yeah, he fucking did that, so that's payback.
Payback's a biatch.
I guess push Hogan, even though he doesn't need anything else. But he makes us money, so I guess we'll keep pushing his
There's
ass.
one thing that matters, and it's money.
Right.
I guess
money
job,
and the miles.
Dibiase and Endeavor Savage.
Savage.
I don't
okay.
like this.
See, was that
It was so
hard?
difficult. It was so hard.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
It was not.
The hardest one of all.
That's
that
what
was
she
hard.
said.
That would yes, several times over. That was harder than Taker, Shawn, and Edge when I threw that one at you.
Yeah,
you fucking
'cause
quit
given the
over?
time period.
But anyway, that was WrestleMania IV, everybody.
Yes.
Now for This Weekend Wrestling.
Hey, pal. Hey, pal.
Hey, pal. I'm gonna induct
Good show.
the Undertaker.
That's right. I'd like to give you offer you a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, we got a bunch of people.
Vince is inducting Taker
on the internet this week. They debunked a bunch of shit. No, Vince McMahon is not wrestling at WrestleMania. You fucking idiots.
Right. Yep.
It is Austin Theory and Pat McAfee. Vince gives a great interview, a pretty honest interview, an entertaining interview, and still fucking triggers the wrestling fans.
Everybody.
Well, he wasn't serious. He prepared everything he was going to say. He knew what he was going to say beforehand. Why don't you just say you hate WWE without saying you hate WWE?
Yeah. You hate Vince. You hate WWE. You can't fucking stand him. You look for any fucking reason, no matter how minuscule it is, to try to hate on him. So just go away. Go suck Tony Khan's dick and have a good time.
The day the man passes away, all promotions are gonna. It's gonna be the biggest wrestling funeral in history. I guarantee you, AEW will start the show with a 10-bell salute with everyone in the fucking ring, with CM Punk right dead center with tears in his eyes, ringing the bell 10 times for Vince McMahon.
It will be a global day of mourning in the world of wrestling the day he passes.
But now that Vince is inducting Taker, does this mean we're gonna have other inductees?
We haven't heard.
We haven't heard yet.
Rumor has it Steiners and Vader are the next.
The rumor that Steiners and Vader,
I did see about Vader, and we talked about Steiners last
Motorhead.
week.
Right. Give us fucking Motorhead, for fuck's sake.
If we're gonna do it, damn it.
Yeah.
If this is in Texas, and they first played at WrestleMania 17, so
we gotta
do
make
it
sure
then.
Triple H is healthy to come out in public because nobody is fucking.
Supposedly Triple H.
He was seen on some TikTok video when they were doing construction on the new Titan Towers, so he's okay in that respect. So he's not on life support. Okay, he's not.
Right.
He's not going to wrestle ever again.
No, that's done. No. But hey, what more can he do?
Because, like I said, him and Cody. If he was healthy and this Cody shit is for real, you book that match for WrestleMania. You don't wait for Cody to pull up after Mania.
Yeah, so. Is what it is.
Wait till SummerSlam. I said wait till SummerSlam for that match.
Hunter's not
whatever-
wrestling, period.
Hunter's not
Yeah, he
dude,
can't wrestle anymore.
Yeah,
He's
he
done.
can't
Hunter
wrestle anymore.
had
Mhm.
a cardiac issue. He's done. He ain't wrestling.
Yeah, but he
Even
can
though
always
Lawler's still wrestling.
Lawler fucking dies and can still wrestle at 72, whatever he is now.
But I think
Jeez.
Hunter is playing the safe game with this one.
Yeah, he can't tempt fate here. So
The game, safe game.
Lawler's having
But
heart
ching.
attacks. He's having sex with beautiful women a quarter of his age. All right. Triple H is having heart attacks because he's fucking putting chemicals and substances in his body. And
he's trying to live up to Vince's level, which forget it, dude. If you saw the interview with McAfee, you know that's not possible.
Vince is going to outlive us all.
Vince was wrestling. That's the funny. All the out of shape neckbeards, like me. I'm not saying it, but everyone who barely goes to a gym or gets winded bringing groceries up the stairs are saying 76-year-old Vince McMahon shouldn't be wrestling. Yet the fucking guy sleeps maybe 2 hours a night and spends the rest of it working out and working at his office.
I've never worked a day in my life. I'm having fun. It's fun. This is what this is. Fun, kid. It's fun, pal.
Squatting as much as he does, benching as much as he does. Like, Vince will live to about 150, 200.
Well, my mom lived to be 101, so that's the benchmark. The big moment for me, a big moment in this one was where he talked about the succession plan for WWE. I'd like it to be a member of the family, but quite frankly, members of the family haven't lived up to it. Like, whoa, wow! Like, bury your fucking kids on that one.
Also, speaking of family, when he was talking about Linda, he's like, my wife at the time.
My wife.
And everyone was like, what happened?
Whoops.
Did something happen?
They don't fucking live together anymore. She's down in Florida. He's in Connecticut. It's simple as that. So, because she was doing so well in politics. That's what 7 million gets you, folks.
Updates on the MSG show that's going on right now.
Okay.
So let's see. Let me go over to the top.
Did Veer arrive?
It's Veer.
That's it.
Veer is
That's
going to
the
be the
important
WWE
question.
champion.
Send Veer.
So, Raw Tag Team Championships, Alpha Academy defeated RK Bro by pinfall. Finn Balor defeated Priest for the U.S. title by a DQ.
Yeah, speaking of...
by DQ, okay.
Speaking of that, Finn Balor's being treated poorly again by becoming U.S. and same with Ricochet as the new Intercontinental Champion.
Totally buried.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they get given belts and now they're buried, apparently.
Yep, apparently. That's
Tag Team SmackDown Tag Team titles. The Usos defeated Big E and Kofi, obviously.
Oh, they're Kofi like shit.
Raw Women's Championship, Becky defeated Bianca and Ripley. Universal title, Reigns defeated Rollins in 5 minutes in a
Well, it's a house show, so yeah.
We're still missing the SmackDown Women's title and the WWE Championship, which
they're probably doing the SmackDown's Women's title right now.
Right
so.
now, yeah.
What? Now I don't.
Who is that? Charlotte and no, it's a tag match. It's Charlotte and Sonya versus Ronda and Naomi again.
Now I don't think it's going to happen, but wouldn't it be something if they changed the WWE title tonight? Out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, they won't, but yeah.
The thing is also, what I'm hearing is, it may not be true, the networks each want a champion. USA wants a champion and Fox wants a champion on their show.
But who's reporting that? Meltzer?
I don't know. Maybe.
It's like, have the champion be on both shows. Problem solved.
End of story. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Tomorrow's Revolution, I think.
Yep.
Revolution.
Evolution, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot
the
about
dog
that.
collar match. That should be the main event.
That should close the show. They invested way too much into it. It's the best shit on the show right now. That should close the show.
Unfortunately, the world title's got to follow that.
Yeah, good luck.
Here's the thing, though, with that world title match, okay? If Adam Page wins, and where the fuck do you go with Adam Cole from that point on? If Adam Cole wins, then basically this big long...
Why would... Yeah.
big long story for Adam Page was for
is
nothing.
dead. It
He
was
Sting
nothing.
1990.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know?
It does nothing for either guy.
And you're not going to do what? Are you going to do a time limit draw again with Hangman?
If Cole wins, you can have Kenny come back, and then you can start the Undisputed Era and Adam Cole versus Kenny and the Bucks. You can do that.
Except the whole thing is MJF needs to be the world champion.
That's true.
To set up him and Wardlow.
MJF is going to Vince, though. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Wardlow, though,
Wardlow
getting me serious early 90s fucking Sid Vicious vibes, though. That dude's getting over. He's just taking the power bomb and just getting over with it. I'm like, at first I was not a believer, but I'm like, okay, this guy's actually starting to look, like he's getting that Sid vibe where he's got that hit factor. He's getting over with those people.
For a modern equivalent, it's a Batista Triple H situation.
With Wardlow and MJF?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess so.
For like a modern day sort of thing.
Wardlow's also another guy Vince would probably end up looking at. He's got he fits the Vince mold too. But MJF, that guy needs to be the top guy in the company. He needs to be the world champion. Forget
So would you put over MJF tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Heat.
Because you put MJF over on Punk, and then work MJF and Page, and then MJF gets the title, and then Punk MJF title rubber match.
Yeah, and this is where you also got to figure out what to do with Punk prior to that. Got to give him something else.
What do you do?
Set him back up, and then eventually, near the end of the year or the beginning of next year, MJF and Wardlow, where you smash Wardlow.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see a broken down Punk having doubt in himself. Like maybe I shouldn't have come back. Maybe
And then who's the guy who does he work with?
Also, let's not forget
Hook.
Tony Khan.
No, actually, no. I got
Ring
other plans for Hook. I got other plans for Hook. Yeah, a guy with a company in debt just bought another company in debt. Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
For apparently like $40 million. So apparently Ring of Honor's worth more than WCW was.
No, because he's that dumb of a businessman.
And people want to bring up inflation and stuff. It's like $4 million in 2001 is $6 million today. Not 40 million.
Not 40.
Exactly.
If you don't follow football, you don't realize how bad of businessmen the Khans are. Those who follow football know the Khans are doing a shitty job with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh fuck yeah. That team is a dumpster fire, and that's an insult to dumpster fires.
They brought in Urban Meyer, and I love Tony Khan's the way when they brought Urban Meyer in, he was talking about how I've learned a lot of myself, being around Urban Meyer and and being around him and his ways of teaching. And then as soon as he lets him go, he's fucking badmouth.
That's what he does with his wrestlers.
He did the big swole. She can't wrestle good. And that's the weird thing with this company, that fan base. And bottom line, I like AEW. There's a lot of things I like about AEW. There's a lot of things I don't like. But the one thing that bothers me the most AEW is that weird cult-like fan base.
Yeah.
That fan base will go there and tweet Free Ali, on Twitter. Yet they'll go and bury Big Swole and bury Cody Rhodes. Anyone who goes out of the company.
Oh, okay. Lost his sound there for a second. It happens with his phone.
We can't hear you, Walter.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. But going back
but I mean,
to,
speaking of AEW, they're making their Detroit debut at the end of June. I'm probably going to be going to that.
Cool. That'd be cool.
But to go back to Vince inducting Taker, I was actually having a conversation with a couple of... Walter, speak.
Hello!
Yeah.
All right. Your point from what you were saying before you cut out.
The fuck was that? It was about AEW. Yeah. It's the fucking it's the cult fan base. They will stand against WWE no matter what, but they will defend AEW. They support the talent in WWE, but they go against the company. Where in AEW, it's the opposite. They will defend the company and go against the talent that leaves. Big Swole, for example. All right, Big Swole didn't really bury the company. She just made a couple of criticisms of things that she noticed, and a lot of things that she's on point about, especially that roster. A couple of things she pointed out. The roster is bloated and it's costing opportunities, and that explains itself. Watch the show. The other thing is the creative freedom at the same time is a double-edged sword. Where while there's guys like CM Punk and John Moxley and MJF who are capable of cutting top-notch promos on the fly and on their own, there are people who still do not have that talent and are preferential to scripted promos and things like that. And that's the thing. Listen to Jade Cargill. Listen to Ty Conti. Actually, hold on. Listen to anybody with the exception of MJF. That is not a PC trained wrestler or former WWE talent. Unless you can tell the difference. The WWE talent that's in AEW,
they can talk. Yeah, the other guys don't. Another factor too, and this is something that my wife brings up all the time. You see how Tony Khan presents himself. I mean, presents himself like a typical millennial nowadays, where he just wants to rant and rave and look at me, I'm awesome, and all this stuff. Now look at how Vince presents himself, like on the Pat McAfee podcast. He's laid back, he's relaxed. You like it? I guess that means it's something, so go ahead and do it. He doesn't fucking get it. He doesn't like it, but he knows it's going to make him money. He knows there's people out there that want to see it. So he will sit back and say, I will take my personal preference away from this, and business-wise, it's going to work. So you do your thing, and we'll show it to the world. Makes me money, and I'm happy that way.
Exactly.
And he doesn't go on the internet and bitch about people. He doesn't go behind people's backs and talk shit. He's got 10,000 things going on in his head all the time. He's got more important shit to worry about than burying people. But Tony Khan wants to jump out there in the middle of the arena. I bought Ring of Honor. You can praise me now.
Now he has another company he's got to run.
Everyone's come up with all these ideas about, we can take all that talent that's they can move in Ring of Honor. Okay, well, what about the talent that was in Ring of Honor before that?
What happens to them?
Aren't they not under contract anymore?
No, they're not.
I thought they were.
No, the contracts are all pointed out at the end of the year.
First batch of contracts expired January 1st. The second batch just expired a few days ago. I think it was March 1st.
Yeah. Now, we don't know if Ring of Honor is staying on Sinclair or not. I don't know if that's actually happening. I don't know if that contract
there's no way Turner's going to be given another show to that.
No, absolutely not.
He might just be using the intellectual property. He might just use it to release Ring of Honor action figures. Have a Ring of Honor pay-per-view tribute show like ECW did, WWE did with ECW. Or considering he's a nutcase, he might just reboot it and run two promotions at the same time. One that's not making money and one that didn't make money for years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never worked ever with promoters running multiple promotions at the same time. Never's worked.
Mm-hmm. And check Jim Crockett, 1987.
I know they bring up the New Japan Ring of Honor joint show at the Garden. It's sold, but they didn't profit off it. They didn't make enough money. No, the amount of the tickets they sold and how much they had to pay for the building. Actually, even Chris Jericho said WWE does not run in the Garden very much anymore because it's not profitable.
Yep. The show tonight is going to be a throwaway show. They're not going to make any money on it.
Yeah.
I heard it didn't really sell a lot. I think it's like 10,000 tickets at best.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I heard it was very poor sell. Because wrestling's not as it used to be.
Exactly. But to go back to what I was about to bring up a bit ago, like speaking of Vince inducting Taker, I was having a conversation with some buddies on TeamSpeak last night, bringing that up, and one of my buddies is like, why Vince? And I'm trying to make the case. Dude, I mean, I get it. Kane would have been appropriate. Foley would have been appropriate. There's a lot of guys that would have been appropriate for inducting Taker, but
Kane probably blew it. It might have been Kane. But Kane's pissed everybody off on Twitter with his political comments. So
which he does.
There's really only one person you could have induct Undertaker, and it's Vince, and he explained why on the Pat McAfee show.
Right.
Yeah, because
Pretty much, if you've not seen the interview, go see the interview.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Anybody ever think that Taker maybe requested Vince to induct him?
Yeah,
That's usually what happens. What happens. You get to pick whoever inducts you. And Austin's the only other one that had Vince do it. So
yeah, and that goes, and the fact that Vince is the one inducting Taker goes to show how big of a star Taker was. Same thing with Austin.
Yep.
So, I mean, granted, yes, if Paul Bearer was still alive, yes, it would have been him. But he's not with us anymore. May he rest in peace. God rest his soul. But Vince, given the relationship that Taker and Vince have had personally over the years, who else better than Vince to induct Taker?
Yeah. I think Taker said it on McAfee's show too, that him and Vince never once had a conversation about him ever thinking about leaving and going to WCW. It was never discussed. It was all just, I trust you, you trust me, you pay me, I'm here to do what you want me to do, and that's it. And that's how you garner a relationship like that.
Yeah, and once again,
we're not going to get a lengthy intro speech from Vince. Vince is not like to waste time, so Vince will spend maybe 5, at best 10 minutes.
Yeah,
before calling out Taker,
and then let Taker talk for the rest of the night.
For the rest of the night, yeah.
Because Mark likes to talk. It's one thing I've learned about Taker since he's now out of character. Dude likes to fucking run his mouth, not shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
but,
hell yeah.
Not talking for 30 years.
He's got a lot to say.
He'll have a lot
He knows where all the bodies are.
Yeah. But yeah, and just one more time to go back with Vince inducting Taker, just to go to show the relationship they have. For those maybe 3 people who have not watched Last Ride, in the second episode, whenever they're going on about the relationship between Taker and Vince, when the interviewer's asking Vince the question, so what does Undertaker mean to you, not only for the company, but personally? And you can tell he was starting to choke up, and he's like, no can do on that, because he would just be breaking down into tears all the time.
It's like all the people who left, all the people who left, Hogan, Savage, Warrior, Bret, Austin, Rock, you name it, there's one person who never left. This is The Undertaker.
Yep.
Name one guy, and that's why I tell people all the time when they're like they get upset, like when I say MJF is going to go to WWE. Oh no, he won't. He wouldn't do that. How many wrestlers can you name that stayed with a company for the bulk of their career, if not their entire career? And it's a very small number. Undertaker is in that number, obviously.
Sting, the other one.
Sting. Those are only really the 2 that first come to mind. Everybody else has bounced around.
Yes.
Yep.
AJ Styles, I think, has spent almost as much time in WWE that he has in how long? When did he debut?
2016.
So he's been there for over 6 years, where he was in TNA for 11.
He's got.
So AJ would be AJ would have been another one, but then he left TNA in 2014.
That's true. Oh, you're right. Okay, but it's catching up. It's getting there.
It is getting there.
Yeah. Kurt Angle, didn't Angle spend more time in TNA than he did? Yep.
11 years.
Still a fair amount of time in both companies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sting and Undertaker are really the only 2 guys you can. Oh, except for The Rock. He spent the duration of his time there. But again, it's a very small number.
Yeah.
It's a very small number. I mean, yeah, you can say guys like, to be fair, like Okada in New Japan. Okada. Actually, no, you can't even say Muda and Muda didn't spend his entire career in New Japan. He's
bounced
around everywhere.
He's bouncing everywhere.
Yep.
And he spent the 80s and 90s tied to New Japan, even during his WCW runs. Liger's a guy you can say that spent, from beginning to New Japan. Well, that's different though in New Japan in Japanese wrestling. It's most guys do stay with the one company that they're in, and also there's no forbidden door in Japan. A lot of them bounce around to promotions and work openly too. So, but in American wrestling, nobody stays in one place. They don't.
No.
What Taker did. He didn't. Well, no, he spent the majority. He spent the final 30 years of his career in WWF.
Yep. And then to kind of finish up with the Hall of Fame stuff. So if the Steiners go in this year, who would induct them? That's an interesting thought.
I'm trying to think. Who managed the Steiners?
Maybe.
Missy Hyatt did, and
I just thought of. I think I figured out who would be a good one to induct the Steiners. Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash.
Oh yeah.
Because they were friends. They were friends before Nash even got into the business, and that's why the Steiners never fucked with him.
Goldberg would be a good choice too.
Yeah.
Braun Breaker,
yeah.
And hell, that's the other thing I was bringing up last night with my buddies too, about with what we're talking about here with the Steiners, if they go in, and like Scott said, please get rid of the Braun Breaker name and let him use the Steiner name, and call him Rex Steiner, R-E-X Steiner.
Unless Braun wants to make it on his own without the Steiner name.
That's true.
Again, but everybody fucking knows.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Same as David Flair and all those guys. It wouldn't matter what their name were. You know really they are.
Matter. Yeah.
Charlotte was just Charlotte, remember? But once you got called up, you're Charlotte Flair. Fine. You know?
If Vader goes in, Inoki. No, not Inoki. Foley.
No.
Foley. Or is Stan Hansen still alive?
Yeah.
He is, but he can't find his way.
Yeah,
I was
Vader inducted Stan. Vader inducted Stan. Yeah, but Stan can't find his way, so I don't think he'll make it.
It would be a post. Jesse would accept the induction, obviously. Foley would probably be the most sense. Actually, Inoki would make sense too, but Inoki's not going to fly over here to do that.
No, he's not going to do that.
He'll honor Liam.
Now, a lady who will be a woman. Trying to think, Texas woman.
Victoria.
Yeah, Victoria. I'd say.
Yeah,
most probably.
Or China on her own.
Yeah.
DX. Yeah.
But if Victoria would probably make more sense.
Who would induct Victoria?
I found out who was supposed to induct. Originally going to induct Liger when they were going to before the pandemic hit. It was going to be Mysterio.
Really? Wow.
Mysterio was going to induct Liger.
Victoria could be inducted by Stevie Richards.
Or Trish.
Trish could be.
Mickey James.
That whole crew. Mickey James, they're friends. So it could be anybody.
The celebrity inductee.
It's got to be Lemmy.
It's got
Lemmy and Motorhead. Yeah, that should be them.
They have to.
Yeah. And Triple H could do the induction.
I would keep it to a minimum induction this year because they're doing that joint show, and I have no idea how they're doing it still.
Yeah. If you just hit all the top ones like we just did, you get Undertaker's the big one, Steiner's as the tag team, Vader is posthumous, Victoria is the woman, and Lemmy and Motorhead as the celebrity. There's you go. There's your class.
And then fill in some of the older people
legendary
for the legacy.
Yep, plenty of those there too.
The Guerreros, come on.
That could be a legacy. That could be a legacy inductee.
It could be, but man, I'd like to see it get. I'd like to see a bigger
They could. They could. They've done it before when they have more than 2 tag teams. So I've been a family like the Von Erichs in 09. They also got inducted.
If Chris Von Erich is a Hall of Famer, then
you can put everybody in there. Yeah. And I would say the Guerrero family as a whole. I mean, Gory. All the way down to Chavo Jr.
Chavo Jr. can do the inductee because apparently he's no longer in AEW.
Apparently, he didn't even know it. Chavo Guerrero
either until just recently.
Yeah,
he found out on Twitter.
Like what?
He wasn't that good. He wasn't that good anyways.
Yeah.
I would love the Guerreros to be in the Hall of Fame, but have them in their own induction. Legacy would be like kind of
It could work next year, being California, because they did have a lot of work in California. So I mean, Texas, Juarez, and El Paso. I mean, that's their territory, but they did have a lot of work in California, so it could work there too. Just to say.
But of course, next year with him being in LA, you gotta induct The Rock.
The Rock.
That's that's the reason why we're.
But what about Batista?
Batista
Yeah,
will be at
'cause-
some point because he was supposed to be in 2020,
but he
and
wants to wait
then
until
he had to
fans
pull
could
out.
be there.
Would you have Batista in induction WrestleMania 40, or would you have another big inductee for WrestleMania 40?
Well, we don't know where.
Yeah, well, we don't know where 40.
Don't know where it's going to be, right?
40's
Is-
40's probably going to be Cena.
Yeah.
You know
'Cause
what? I'd say fuck it. Eventually, like they're going to have to start going. Jericho is going to have to get asked eventually.
Yes.
He will.
Yeah.
Vince is gonna.
Which-
Vince is,
no,
whether
that's
he's
no-
with
that's a
AEW or
no-brainer.
not, Vince is gonna have to just give it and just fucking ask him.
Brian will be inducted at some point.
Punk, if he can
Yep.
bury
Punk.
the hatchet with Vince and Hunter.
I can see them going to Punk. I can see Punk not taking it and just being a jerk about it.
I don't know. I don't know. Not now. I mean,
They can always use the legacy wing. Hey, CM Punk's in the legacy
Come
wing.
on. Give me William Regal to the Hall of Fame. My God,
I agree.
He fucking deserves
Yeah,
it.
Regal.
I agree with that. Yep.
I
Fit
mean,
Regal in there.
It can happen.
Fit Finley.
Jake
Fit
has,
Finley would
Finley.
let you go in.
it can happen because Jake has an AEW contract and he's got a WWE Legends contract, so he works for both companies.
Technically. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they you know, from what I understand, Arn. Actually, dude, you know who else needs to fucking go in? Gold Dust.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dustin.
Dustin
Yeah,
in
Dustin.
general. Yeah.
Yep.
Dustin
Does need to go in.
General, yeah. But
Yeah,
Gold
he'll
Dust,
definitely go in.
Yeah.
Gold Dust, you know they won't induct.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's like because Kevin Nash was not inducted. Diesel was. You know, Razor Ramon was inducted, not Scott Hall, technically. So.
Yeah.
But no, actually, they're both in as Kevin Nash and Scott Hall as members of the NWO.
NWO.
That's right.
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 Yeah.
I forgot about that part. Yep. So
Time
we're in
goes
close.
on. Yeah.
And then of
Time's
course,
going
and then of
on.
course,
Yeah.
and then of course, who would be the next faction to go in? Evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Evolution
but
would
are
be-
they? But Flair
Wait, what about-
is really
Players are in there. What 3 times?
twice. But Flair's
Twice.
bitterness with the company, would he?
Yeah.
Would
Well,
he?
that would
Oh,
eventually. He would. He'll take it.
What about the
What?
dungeon? What about the dungeon at Doom?
No.
Yeah.
Actually, that's another thing. Big Show. He's another one that's winding down that they got.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
will.
they need
Oh.
to put him in soon.
Big
Big
Show.
Show.
Well,
They took a big show.
Mark Henry's already in.
Mark Henry's
Yeah.
in.
Henry's already in.
But yeah, Big
who else
Show.
is left.
But
well,
I say now that we're running out of names, I
Heyman.
think that's Heyman.
Heyman is
The
another
The
name.
Midnight Express with Cornette.
Yes.
And then of course,
Yeah.
another tag team if they can get their legal stuff sorted out. Demolition.
Demolition.
For
Mhm.
Demolition.
celebrities, Andy Kaufman and Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Both have to go in.
Cyndi Lauper, Andy Kaufman, Motorhead, Dick Emersall, and then you're done with the celebrity wing. But I think that is a good time to wrap things up for this week. So
What a show.
what a show! Thanks to Scott making my
Real
brain
big show. Real big show.
I'm here. Ready to be
Kevin,
shoot.
Kevin Owens gave The Miz a stunner, and Drew McIntyre beat The Miz.
Okay.
So, before we go, a reminder of what's coming the rest of WrestleMania month. Next week, it's top 10 best WrestleMania openers. The week after that, it's our review of WrestleMania 28. And then at the end of the month, to conclude WrestleMania season, we are talking the top 10 worst WrestleMania main events.
And then are we taking the weekend of WrestleMania off? Because we're probably not going to be able to find any window to be
Yeah,
on
I'd
here.
say
So
it'll
we're
be
just
a
not,
week
you're just not going
off,
to see
yeah.
us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to have any time to be on here to talk about anything.
No, we won't.
I mean, yeah.
Especially me. I'll probably ask the entire of those fucking 3 days just to watch it, even though I would have loved to be there. I mean, it's fucking Dallas. It's like almost like a
Let me
day.
see if I have an update on my job fire, my push job endeavor. Let me see. Okay. Justin Fox. You know who that is, Scott.
Yep.
Job Dibiase, Endeavor, Hogan, Push Savage. Wow. I was like, Justin,
Okay.
dude, you just killed the company.
Yep. He knows a lot about the business.
You just killed wrestling.
Yep.
But that that was big.
That's all
So
I got. That's all I got.
before we go, it's plug time. So first, James.
You can find me on my YouTube at We Are Pro Wrestling, where I just covered WrestleMania 5. Next week, I cover the Ultimate Challenge WrestleMania 6. So, subscribe to me on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at WAPW_wrestling.
Or watch JD from New York instead. I'm just kidding. Don't.
What a
Scott,
maneuver!
Scott, you should react to one of his videos, or just like 10 minutes of it and be like, what the fuck is this shit?
I don't even know what that is.
I couldn't get through 30 seconds of him. He's a racist. He's a racist, homophobic cunt. That's for starters. Okay.
And I wouldn't want to
And
react.
he works for House of Glory as their as
Mason Red fucking pays this guy to do commentary, and he's a mark. He's the one that made sexual. He's the one who compared Alexa Bliss's wrestling to her being lazy in bed or something like that. And
Okay.
he's got a whole bunch of. He's a nasty, disgusting human being, and for some reason, people follow him.
And he's got over 100,000 subscribers.
And all he does is yell and scream and act like a fucking idiot.
Ricky.
I want to punch him. Not Ricky.
Yeah,
I love Ricky.
I was like, wait a minute. But you can find me on my YouTube channel, Horror Master, where I just did the Marilyn Manson Rank 'em all albums, which that was a lot of fun. I'm thinking of either doing Slayer or AC/DC next, depending on the timing. You can find me on my Instagram at God. You can find me on my Twitter at HorrorMaster18, and you can find me on Levi's channel at the Horseman Podcast.
Scott.
Find me on my YouTube channel. It's Mr. Scott Thrill Me, where I do all kinds of reaction videos. Coming up this week, I've got a video from Sabaton, and I've got a pick from our good brother Walter on the new Scorpions album. Love the track, by the way. Also got other stuff lined up for the month. I got some Irish music coming at you the week of St. Patrick's Day and all kinds of fun stuff. I will be working on a 7-series. Extreme Moments of ECW will be the subject of that one. Hopefully we'll get that out sometime this month. Also find me on Twitter and Instagram at It's Mr. Scott. Find me on my Twitch account, twitch.tv/It's Mr. Scott, where I just recently hit 100 followers on Twitch. Yay me. And had a great time hanging out on there and getting to do all kinds of fun stuff. And I have my brand new TeePublic merch store. That's right. Don't forget it. My brand new TeePublic merch store where I've got 3 designs on there. The official It's Mr. Scott t-shirt, my Max Bass Strings t-shirt, and my Hearts and Horns t-shirt on there as well. You can also get them in all different kinds of merchandise too, not just t-shirts. So check that out if you would not mind.
Walter.
You can find me at Mr. Scott, along with our good friends, Token Tom Clark, Skip Novak, and Sergeant Fury Dan Roberts on the Necrocasticon. We talk about the best combination since chocolate and peanut butter, and that is horror film.
And then finally, you can subscribe to me here on YouTube, ThrashManiac99, just a few subscribers away from 3,300. Yeah, still been on a roll with the metal stuff. I did... what did I do the other day? Oh yeah, my band versus my Make Me Choose Between Two Bands video. Oh god, that took a while to edit. That took me about 2 hours to edit, so whenever I do album versus album here in the summer, that's gonna be a pain. But regardless, that was a fun video to do. Tomorrow I might have 2 reviews up for Crowbar and Midnight. Possibly. Of course, Under the Radar, where I talk about some underground stuff that came out this weekend and stuff I didn't get to touch on. But also, next week I'm going to be doing my Slayer ranking for their 13 albums. So that's going to be interesting. Of course, I'm working on a collection update video because I'm still getting stuff left and right all the time. I mean, hell, I got the new shelf over here.
Mm-hmm.
That's why everything looks a little bit different. Yeah, and also, actually, I didn't get to bring this up to Ricky or Scott or Walter, but actually, maybe tomorrow night I'll have to talk to my buddy Ben about this over on Metal Ben's Chronicles channel. He does live streams with a bunch of his buddies like myself, Necrotic Nick from Thralls of Metal. This past Monday, I started a new tradition for them. Ricky, you know how you and I always played a Metallum game? I turned it into a game show where I go around the horn and everybody picks, like I pick a band and they try to pick in the similar artists up to 10. And we had so much fun doing that last week, so we're going to try and start doing that weekly because everybody had a good time with it and everybody loved it. So that's over there. You can also follow me on Instagram at thrashmaniac_YT. And last but not least, follow and or subscribe to me on Twitch at thrashmaniac99. Thank you guys for watching this week's episode, and until next week, horns high, and we'll see you in the next one, jackass.
Later, partners!